When you think back to our time in Brooklyn, what do you think of?
I had just signed that deal. You had just signed the deal. But I feel like we were secure, but everything else around us was going to and not in a bad way. We got GMs going to other teams. We got coaches going to other teams. We got players forcing trades. We got bringing Ben Simmons. He's back. Like, it was just so much. I had just signed that deal. You had just signed the deal.
Clarity here, all right?
But I feel like we were secure, but everything else around us was going to
So when he says
not in a
this,
bad
right,
way. We got
and it's obviously, again, I didn't take this personally.
everything else around us was.
So when he says this, I'm not taking that personally. It was a lot going on around all of us, right? But how Steve ended up becoming our head coach, I'll let Kay answer that, right, when he's ready. But I already had my own thoughts on how the coaching situation was going to go, right?
You think you know what really destroyed the Brooklyn Nets super team? Think again. Kyrie Irving just gave the most honest, raw breakdown of what went down behind closed doors, and it's way messier than anyone imagined. Coaches refusing to work together, mental breakdowns nobody knew about, and betrayals happening overnight were all part of the story. Forget what the media told you, the real collapse of the biggest super team in NBA history is something you need to hear. It all started when Brooklyn landed Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, two of the most talented players in the league. Their plan was simple: put Brooklyn on the map, win championships, and build a dynasty. Kyrie pushed for it, telling KD, "Let's commit. Let's put Brooklyn on the map, nobody's thinking about Brooklyn." KD believed in it. Both signed max deals and locked in for the long run, ready to do something special.
We're one of the most watched teams now because we have all-stars, MVPs on the team. We are in New York City, in the media capital of the world. You just got to walk a little bit different. And I wasn't ready to walk that walk, and I don't know if I can't speak for them, but there was a lot going on, just not within the team, but just Brooklyn in general, the Nets.
Going to
You know, I didn't feel like it was going to shit, but I felt like there was just a lot of structural change happening that was very quick, and he's coming off an Achilles tear. You know what I'm saying?
The hype around this team was unreal. Two superstars in their prime, in the media capital of the world, with unlimited resources and a hungry fan base. Everyone expected a Warriors-level dynasty. But here's where it gets wild. Kyrie revealed something no one knew, and it changes the story from day one. Tension started with the coaching situation. Steve Nash was hired as head coach, a Hall of Fame player with respect across the league, but Kyrie admitted he had serious doubts from the start. Other candidates had actual championship experience as head coaches. Nash had only won titles as an assistant, never the guy calling the shots in crunch time. Even crazier, Nash admitted he had doubts about coaching Kyrie. The star doubted the coach doubted the star, and they hashed it out before the season started. Think about that, a championship foundation with cracks before a single game.
How Steve ended up becoming our head coach, I'll let Kay answer that, right, when he's ready. But I already had my own thoughts on how the coaching situation was going to go, right? I felt like there were other candidates out there that could have definitely been our head coach that had championship experience. I think Steve had championship experience in his own way, in his role that he played in Golden State. But in terms of being a head coach, I had my own thoughts, right? And I'll get into that later in my documentary, but I'm just saying I had my own thoughts. And when Steve became our head coach, he even admitted to me that he had his own reserves on coaching me, and I had my reserves on him being coached by him. So we had already hashed that out, but I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like, yeah, it was all easy around just everything in Brooklyn.
Kyrie decided to support Nash anyway. Why? Because Nash was KD's guy. Kyrie said, "This is your man." Cool. You want him? Cool. I love Steve. Loyalty to a teammate mattered more than his own doubts. Then chaos started. The super team assembled, expectations were sky high, and suddenly everything around them began falling apart. Coaches left. General managers left. Players forced their way out. It was like watching a building collapse in slow motion, with Kyrie, KD, and eventually Harden trying to hold the foundation together.
I take my accountability for not being in the greatest space mentally, physically, emotionally, you know? So I didn't know how to even express that to them at the time. Like, yo, that's how I was feeling, that's what I'm dealing with. It was just kind of like me, isolated, being recluse, like, y'all don't really understand what's going on. So
we got GMs going to other teams. We got coaches going to other teams.
Yup, and he's talking about coaches going to the team. Ime Udoka literally went to the Boston Celtics after coaching with us. That was crazy, bro.
Ime Udoka, the assistant coach learning the team's plays and tendencies, left to become Boston's head coach, a division rival. Now Brooklyn had to face someone who knew every strength and weakness inside out. Kyrie's reaction? Pure disbelief. Looking for a good coach was one thing, but handing your playbook to a division rival? This knowledge haunted the Nets in the 2022 playoffs.
Around.
Can you imagine going against the coach that literally saw all of our strengths and weaknesses, and now we're playing against them? You know what I'm saying? So Boston was ready for us. Ime had them ready, had the Celtics ready, dog. When we played them in the 2022 playoffs, shit got wild. Shit got wild, y'all. For sure, shit got wild. So we had a lot going on. Katie is right. That's what I'm saying. When I said I'm gonna address this on stream, it literally was just about doing this and having fun with it and letting people know.
The departures didn't stop there. Assistant GMs, coaches, and staff were leaving. Brooklyn was bleeding talent from every level except the players themselves. Kyrie, KD, and Harden remained committed, ready to sacrifice everything for a championship. Meanwhile, Kyrie was struggling personally. During his historic 50/40/90 season, the best basketball of his life, he was battling family issues, personal struggles, and mental health challenges. He isolated himself, pulling away from the team, and the media attacked him. People asked, "Where's Kyrie? What's going on?" But no one knew the real story. He admits he should have communicated better, but during that time, isolation was his only response. Despite the chaos, the team made shocking moves. Karis LeVert and Jared Allen were traded, Harden arrived, forming the long-awaited Big Three. For a brief moment, this trio looked unstoppable. They went 13-3 when all three played together, demolishing teams with insane offensive chemistry, the kind of basketball fans dream about.
We cared enough. I felt like every day we were trying to push towards winning the champ. It was a great vibe in there. It's some of the best times. That first year, that's why I signed that deal.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm glad that he said this, is because that first year that we were all together was really special. It was really special. We had veterans, we had young guys, we literally breezed through the regular season.
But injuries struck. Kyrie went down. Harden played hurt. And in the playoffs against Milwaukee, heartbreak hit. Kyrie's toe was an inch behind the three-point line on what seemed like the game-winning shot. Instead of a three-pointer, it counted as two. Brooklyn lost in overtime, and the championship dream started dying. The next season, things unraveled further. Kyrie dealt with personal issues that kept him away for a while, and when he returned, the energy felt off. Then the shocking moment, Harden requested a trade one day after talking about winning it all. Kyrie understood Harden's business decision, but it disrupted everything they were building.
Players forcing trades, we got bringing Ben Simmons, he's back. Like, it was.
All right, so I'm not gonna lie to you. So when we traded James for Ben, right? That whole Nets Big Three era. By the way, Nets World, you probably won't give me any credit, but Nets World, that's definitely something that I came up with. But it's okay. Nets World probably was existence before I came up with. That's fine too. But when I started calling it Nets World, everything like that started going up. All right. So when James got traded for Ben, I don't think we knew the landscape of where Ben was at, right? I don't think we knew where Ben was at. So when that trade happened, it shocked a lot of people. It shocked me. I was talking to James one day. I'm like, shit, bro, we about to go win these championships. And it was like a day later, asked for a trade. I was like, oh, okay.
The trade made things worse. Philadelphia got Harden in exchange for Ben Simmons, a player who hadn't played in over a year and was dealing with mental health struggles. Brooklyn inherited his media circus and distractions. Kyrie admitted they didn't fully understand where Ben was at, making the trade unfair from the start.
But when that happened and we got Ben, a lot more pressure started to come in on our franchise, because now not only do we have this going on, but also we have a situation that Ben is dealing with where everybody is trying to micromanage the spun narrative. Like, he's doing this, he's doing that. So it wasn't a fair trade at the outset, right? It was not at all. I didn't feel like that was a fair trade. But at the same time, when it happened, he went to our division. He went to Philly. So not only did we lose Ime Udoka, and then we lost one of our assistant GMs, but we lost James to Philly. So we're in the same division with our brothers. You know, and they know everything that we got going on. So when you spend a season or two with somebody, you're gonna know their habits, you're gonna know their strengths and weaknesses. You know, that, and I just I'm grateful that all of this stuff is just business, you guys. Basketball is not meant to be this harmful, violent, you know, like he said, she said type of eventful space, bro. This is not Love Island, y'all. This is not Real World. This is not The Shore. This is the basketball, like the NBA drama space. Is not real drama, you guys. It's not. I'm here to tell you that. Now, it may seem like guys don't get along because guys may be misunderstanding people's moves or what they do, or, you know, something. Of course, some certain situations are different. They're serious. But I'm saying the basketball drama that's created, like, look at them going against each other. Look at them. It looks like they don't like each other. It's like, bro, in competition, if you're my brother and you were just with me, rocking with me, and we were supposed to win championships together, we had these higher expectations, of course I'm gonna try to knock your block off. I'm human. You know what I'm saying? It's a business at the end of the day, but it's entertainment, dog. It's like NBA, maybe that little equal sign to WWE sometimes, bro. Like, people get it messed up in their minds, be living out these characters and these nicknames. It's just not it. It's not it. I don't live like that.
With Udoka in Boston and Harden in Philadelphia, both division rivals had inside knowledge of Brooklyn's plays and tendencies, essentially cheat codes. Ben Simmons added even more pressure and media attention. In the 2022 playoffs, Boston, led by Udoka, exploited everything they knew about Brooklyn. Injuries, coaching disadvantages, and organizational chaos crushed the Nets' chances.
If things happen, right? Those playoffs, if KD's foot doesn't, hit that line, or if I don't get injured, or if things don't work out differently, maybe we're sitting here multi-time champions, a few of us got MVP.
Looking back, Kyrie's perspective is enlightening. The first year was magical, they were locked in, having fun, and committed. But the environment became toxic fast. Nash couldn't coach the way the team needed due to drama, media narratives, and instability. Kyrie doesn't make excuses, he takes accountability. He admits he wasn't fully ready for New York's pressures and should have handled personal struggles differently. But beyond that, structural chaos in the organization, the constant turnover of coaches, staff, and players' business decisions made it nearly impossible to succeed. Basketball drama isn't real life, Kyrie stresses. The human side is often ignored, three superstars trying to hold it together amid chaos, striving to achieve something difficult under the world's spotlight. A 13-3 record could have translated to 79 wins over a full season. If injuries hadn't struck, if Kyrie hadn't faced personal challenges, they might have won 2 or 3 championships. Instead, one magical season was followed by 2 years of drama and disappointment.
It's really about.
And I pray that one day, right, we all get to sit down, and I hope it's for my documentary, and we get to talk about this time more openly, because I think even as I watch Bron sit there, he knows that a lot of this stuff was happening, but also him being in LA, he had his own thing going too. So this is giving him clarity on what happened, but it's also coming from just KD and Steve, and there were a lot of parties involved in this. And some of the other parties that are involved, we probably won't ever speak on it, but say I will.
Around the guys that were committed to the situation, I felt like we were committed, but everybody else wasn't. It just was weird.
So this was the part where I honestly looked at it and I was like, when he said this, emotionally I was like, okay, we're all committed to the goal at the end of the day, but sometimes not everybody's gonna follow what you want them to do. I wish I had my soundboard for this, but like not everybody's gonna do what you want them to do. And I've had to accept that as a human being and as a leader. Not everybody's gonna do what you want them to do. Not everybody's gonna be committed the way you want them to be committed, right? And it's not like Kay is asking me for this, but it's like I asked for this commitment before I committed to Brooklyn from him, which was a beautiful thing. I'm like, yo, let's commit to this thing. We could build up Brooklyn. We could really put Brooklyn on the map. You know, nobody's really thinking about Brooklyn. But when he said that, I'm like, bro, Steve wasn't even in the play yet. But this is your man's. This is your man. So I gotta support that. This is your man's. Cool. You want him? Cool. You like Steve? I love Steve. You know what I'm saying? Cool.
Talent alone isn't enough. The Brooklyn Nets' Big Three taught us this: stability, health, and organizational alignment are critical. Even the most talented players struggle when life, personal issues, and organizational mistakes intervene. Next time someone calls Kyrie crazy or the Brooklyn era a disaster, remember, the coach who had reservations, the assistant coach who left for a rival, mental health struggles, a near-perfect record, and a single inch on a toe all mattered. Real people were navigating real pressures while the world judged every move. Brooklyn's story is far more complicated and human than anyone wants to admit. That's the real story.